It's still May 10th. I reached out to my mom at the end of the evening just to, wish her a happy Mother's Day, because it's Mexican Mother's Day. And I love my mom, I do, and I know she loves me. Mom, I know you love me. I know. She posed some questions. I think some people think it's weird. Maybe, I don't know. Not some people. I think the people that understand. There's a reason why. There's a reason why there's space. There's a reason why there's space between people. Especially when you don't see things in the same way, right? When you have different perspectives of life, and when there's different beliefs, and a lot of it is just that not understanding. And I understand that, and I get it. One of her concerns is why I'm so separated from the family. And a lot of people view that in a negative way. Well, you've gone away from your family, right? The black sheep of the family. I think in one of my write-ups, I put that I know what it's like to have been the one that was put on a pedestal, the one to aspire to, right? The one to, she finished her degree, right? I was the first one in my family to get a graduate degree. First one in my family, right? And compared to my cousin, like people, my aunts would come to me, oh, talk to your cousin, right? Get them on the right track. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, they're living their life, right? My sister would tell me that a lot. Like, stop comparing me to my sister, right? And I also know now, with this whole journey, what it's like to be the black sheep of the family, right? The one who's gone astray, right? And I laugh because there's nothing else for me to do but laugh. Because there's nothing I can do about it. Well, there is. Let me take that back. I'm choosing this path. I'm choosing this path. I will continue to choose it. And I've said this before. I will continue to choose this path until it leads me, until it blows up in my face, right? And it has yet to do that. So I will continue to document. I will continue to experience life in this manner because it feels good. It feels aligned. And one of her fears that she expressed was like, I've seen people go the other, and I've heard that story before, and I will repeat it again. Like, I can see where they got lost in this process. And there's a reason why this is unfolding in the manner that it is. Like, I know what the reason is. Like, I just know. Whether or not people believe me, that's up to them. She's still... It's so funny, our interactions. It's so very surfacey. It's very surfacey, right? Because I know that if I go dive in, she's going to get triggered, I'm going to get triggered. And it's the same loop, right? The same loop. And that's what ends up happening in relationships, where it's like there's no end. You're just repeating. Hence why I don't engage in that. Hence why I create space. Same situation came up with an aunt of mine recently. Same topic. No lean las cartas, right? Don't read tarot. Because of the belief system that we've been fed and what we've been told, the stories that have been shared on that extreme, right? And I shared with my mom, I'm like, I don't deny that at some point for some people, they went down a path that they didn't know what to do and got scared because of what they experienced. I don't deny it. I believe that it's someone's truth. But I also believe my own truth and what's unfolding. And this is what's been unfolding. And it feels great. And it's just, and I explained to her, I'm like, it makes sense that that is one extreme example. So then if one side exists, the other side must also exist. Like, it only makes sense to balance it out. One of her questions was why, like, she had a hard time understanding my dreams. And I was trying to explain to her, I'm like, dreams have purpose. There's a reason, and these happen to be the dreams that I have. And it's just being highlighted. Why couldn't it have been highlighted here while you're with your family? Why only until you're alone? I said, because my energy when I was with my family was going out of me. I was giving too much to my work, attending to my husband's needs, right? Attending to the family's needs and activities and events, and I was everywhere doing everything except bringing the energy back to me. I was unbalanced. That's what I explained to her. And so I said, so it only makes sense that once I remove all of that, I make space, right, to go within, to explore this. By choice, mind you. And I told her, I said, I made space, and so then it came. When you're too caught up with the day-to-day life, you don't listen because you're too busy paying attention to what's outside of you. And because I was able to clear that off my plate, I was able to go within and listen to the silence. And I said, there's a difference between isolation and solitude. I'm like, I learned that one at church. I learned that one at church. There's a difference between isolation and solitude. I'm purposefully choosing solitude. And by default, there's a sense of isolation that I'm choosing to engage in so that I can listen, so that I can be more in tune, so I can decipher the information without the external chatter, right, of people's thoughts and beliefs. I'm like, let me clear that out so that I can listen to my own belief system. What makes me feel good and is in alignment with me. Because if I feel good about it, guess what? Chances are it's going to just keep getting better, right? And there's a difference. Some people fear this feeling of good, right? They confuse it with something else. Lust, for example. Let me raise both hands because I know what that confusion feeling is like, between deciphering between both. You can confuse, you can just confuse it if you don't spend enough time with the feeling of goodness. My heater. You can confuse it for other things. It's like the difference between your intuition and fear. Your intuition nudges you in a way, even if it's uncomfortable, it'll nudge you a certain way, but there's a difference between that nudge and then the fear aspect, right, of like running away from it. If you spend enough time with it, you'll learn to decipher the difference. I explained it to another client of mine. It's kind of on the same pathway. I'm like, challenges are helpful, but only if they help you grow. If you keep running into a challenge and hitting the wall, and you're not growing, that's a sign that situation is not for you. Versus hitting a challenge, working through it, seeing the benefit of it, and moving on, right? Where you're not hitting the wall, but you're able to deconstruct it and see the benefit from that experience to move on to where you're not repeating the frustration. You actually feel good when you overcome a challenge. There's a difference. You just have to learn to listen, right? So anyways, I think for the first time I was able to speak my truth to a certain degree, to a certain point where she didn't interrupt. So that's progress. That's progress. Because in the beginning, I couldn't even speak my truth. She remember like that clash like 2 years ago, and we've kind of kept our distance, where we kind of kept it superficial, just talking about like, hi, how are you? Good, how are you? Oh, what's new? Oh, here's surface stuff, great, take care, I love you, be safe. And then today it just kind of, it lent itself to me finding the words to communicate it in a way, right, to remind her, hey, I can trust myself. My soup's ready. My soup's ready. Sorry, my soup's ready. I had to turn it off. So there's that part of it, of being able to communicate to her again. And then the other comment that she made was, about reading the cards. You're having these dreams, and I'm like, no, mom, like, I don't read the cards every day, right? Like this week I just haven't had the time to, but I still experience dreams, right? And I'm explaining to her, I'm like, the dreams don't come because of the cards. and I don't do like a whole spread of the cards every day. Like, it has nothing to do with it. It's just a tool. And again, just the fear that she had. And then I asked her, I said, have you done it yourself? No. Okay, bring me someone who's done it. Like, I don't want to read a book about that someone who wrote it about something and an experience. No, I get it that at a certain time frame it might have been used in a certain way, but not anymore. I said, it's different. And it's not like I'm advocating for everybody to do it that way. No, like, again, I think this is where I don't think she's watching my videos, right? I don't think she's listening. She's, because I've mentioned it before, or maybe she's just not there. If she follows them, I don't know. She hasn't really made any reference to like, oh, hey, I watched your video, I have a question about something that you said. Nothing like that. It's just this automatic like judgment for the little bit that she knows. So I'm trying to keep that in mind. Also, in terms of like, well, how much information does she know? How much do I have to explain to kind of catch her up in my life? Because and that was one of the things that she's like, well, you have nothing to share. Like, I'm asking you to share with me. And so then I countered with, well, do you want to hear what I have to share? Because my sister tells me all the time, tell me what's new. I'm like, well, let me tell you what's new. I have a bunch of stuff to share. And then once I start talking about it, oh, I don't want to hear it. Okay. What do you want me to do? Like, I'll give you the surface stuff if that's all you can handle. So I countered with that. I said, do you really want to hear what I have to say, or will you shut me down? Because I could share, and I don't mind sharing, but will you listen? It's different. There's a difference. So I love you, Mom. I trust myself enough to listen to the signs. If this isn't the path that I'm supposed to go on, it'll blow up in my face, but it has yet to occur. If anything, I just continue to be more humbled. I continue to feel more in alignment with me. This is just one of many ways to get there. And it's still your choice. And I told an aunt, because another aunt sent, that's where I left off. Another aunt reached out, and she's been sending me messages, and Bible stuff, like, stuff that, I don't mind it. Like, I would get sent, that's something I would pay attention to all the time, right? I just no longer live my life by it. I've chosen to question, to expand. It's not question. Yes, it is question, but to expand from it. So I'm not saying that it's not the way. It's one way. It's just no longer the way for me. And this new way feels more aligned with me. It just does. And I'm going to do what makes me feel good. And that's what I told my aunt. I said, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told my mom. I'm a 41-year-old educated woman. I trust myself enough to listen to the guidance, to not get lost. And if it blows them up in my face, I'll find my way back. Like, I know I will. I trust myself enough. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. That's the biggest thing. I'm not afraid. I don't think I ever was afraid. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gone down this path. I'm just you know, and explain to mom, to my mom, I'm like, I'm documenting, I'm documenting, I'm documenting, because this is a new world for me, and I'm documenting what's unfolding to just compare and contrast, and you know, to challenge myself and the learning that I'm doing, and encountering it with new information and questioning even the information that I've learned, right? And kind of just putting the puzzle pieces together to see, can I continue to put this together in a way where it can help people? And it has. Like, had I not gone through this experience, I wouldn't have been so tapped into the dream state that I wouldn't have known how to guide some of my clients who are open to that, right? Not every, I don't use it with every client, only those whose it's in alignment with, right? It's like if I were to have considered myself a Christian, a Christian therapist, right? I would use Christianity in my practice. It only makes sense, right? When I worked in the hospital setting, I remember there were the different social workers had different styles. One of them prayed with the patients in the NICU, and then I had the other social worker during the day. So the night social worker was open to praying with the families, and so the morning social worker, when she saw it, she saw that the evening social worker used prayer as a way to help the family, and she straight out not raised her hand, but she spoke to the director and she said, I don't want to work with this family because this family already has this expectation that, you know, we're going to do provide a certain intervention, and I don't feel comfortable praying with them. Okay. Right? I'm sharing the information that I have that's in alignment with my client's belief system already. That's all I'm doing, and those who are open to it. And I don't even speak a lick of it in counseling. I don't. If it's not in alignment, it's not even included. You know. So it's just, it's an expansion of how we already do things. It's just a creative twist to it, an activity, if you will. You know, however you want to look at it. At the end of the day, it's whatever makes sense for you. What can you take away from it that will help enrich your life? You leave what doesn't make sense alone. Trust yourself. At the end of the day, it's all about, and that's what I was explaining to her. The only thing I'm advocating is for you to trust yourself through this process. That's it. That's it. So, that's the update on Mother's Day, Mexican Mother's Day. The update on my relationship with my mom. Which is funny, because in a couple days, in 2 days, I have that dream. I think it's 2 days. I have that dream where my mom's side of the family is struggling with my truth. They're struggling with my truth. And I didn't completely share the truth to my mom. I told her that I have dreams that are, I at this point can only believe that it's of the future. The future will unfold, and it'll, you know, time will tell, right? Time will tell. But in the meantime, I'm just documenting and I'm living my life. And I'm living the best life that I have. I'm happy with how things are unfolding and where I'm at, and yeah. So it was good. I feel like it was progress, for sure. The fridge. But, you know, I'm hoping it will. Like, it will. It'll get better in that respect, I guess. I mean, it's already good. I'm grateful that we've been able to get to this point, you know, where she's not completely shutting me down. She's actually listening. So that's nice. One presentation down. Completed it today. The next presentation is on Sunday. And then, you know, finals is around the corner, and yeah. I feel like this week's gonna go smoothly. Just need to make sure I stay on my game with work and responsibilities, and yeah, the best is yet to come.
Hi, my name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us, in whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth. This just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see what else comes next for me.